What's up guys, you probably heard that Cypher cam has been nerfed, and the nerf is that when enemies are being spied on, they will hear a sound. So this means that cameras that get early information, cameras that see enemies way too early, you know, before you set up, or aggro cameras, etc., they will be basically easy to spot. You could already spot them because you could see the icons on the minimap, but players who don't pay attention to the minimap, they now have a freebie with the sound. So I've gathered one camera for every bomb site or area that you can defend on as Cypher to basically give you something to work with, and these cameras I've used myself a lot. The difference with these cameras compared to the normal cameras I've shown in the past is that the other cameras before the nerf, they would allow a bit more time to see that enemies are coming in. Instead, you have to rely more on sound and deduction of where the enemies are, basically keep track of minimap info, stuff that you already do as Cypher, and you know, reaction time. When you see the enemies in the camera, you activate the cages and then you hop out of the camera and start shooting them and so on. Starting with Ascent, same camera. I'm gonna show the camera you normally use here, and that camera is basically this one that has a gap. If we move it a tiny bit, you close that gap, enemies can't see the camera, you can't see them, but you get a roughly similar angle. Here for a short, this camera is the same as before. It's a one-way camera. Even if they hear the sound, it's no problem. Place camera here in mid. You scout enemies. As soon as you see them, take back the camera, and then you can place the camera in market or something. And you have a good angle for when they're pushing in. Also very good. You don't leave the camera anymore like that. For B, a camera like this is very strong, but because you see the enemies, they will hear the sound, they can shoot the camera. Go for this camera instead, that is more tucked in. This is an alternative that I've shown before. And if we go to bind, here on Bath, it's all good if you use this camera. I think this camera is timed well, so that you get information on enemies as they're walking out and as they're on site. For A short, you have this one, same as before, tucked in, B hookah, up in the ceiling. If you place it closer to the doorway, you see more of the doorway, so that's why you go for the further back version like that. For B long, this one is my go-to camera, no need to change anything there, perfect for sand traps. For Breeze, same camera as before, we don't really do anything different here. You go for this camera that has a more limited view when enemies are coming in, but you only need to see them as they're going in on the pyramids anyways. For tunnels or tube, that camera over there, perfect, because you see enemies feet when they're going in, and you can also combine that with a one-way. And yeah, one-way, I'm gonna post that as a short, but there's an old video as well if you want to check it out. Another camera here, same cameras as before, nothing new really for Breeze. It's cameras that I've shown before and that I like using already. When we switch to Icebox, this one here can be a bit tricky, as you can see, but it's a very good camera. Very similar vibe as on Breeze. You shoot enemies when they're coming in. When you want to hold mid, you go for this camera. You can see tube, you can see under tube, window, etc. It's pretty neat. When you want to hold for kitchen, but you don't really have a trap, or maybe you do have a trap, you do some play, you can see through the glass on top. Remember that, you can see through the glass. It's very strong. And you can also see when they're crossing. The downside is that you don't have vision on B site when they're going in. So for B site, you can do this camera also, a normal camera for me. An alternative is going up the rope, jumping out and placing it up here. And this camera will see them very early, they will hear it, shoot it, and then you can switch up with the other one. For Lotus, A site camera, normal. B site, pretty normal camera as well. Goes like that. Then for C site camera, this one, same thing. As you can see, not many things change. It's only the OP things that change. This one is very OP, for example. So this one, you can get the info, take it back, and then you can place it here. And if enemies are running up too fast, or if they're shooting the camera too fast, then you need to switch it. Just start with that better position. This camera here was good before, but now we switch it to this one. This here, because now you see enemies a bit later, so they might sneak up. You don't want to expose yourself too much, but you can use a one-way with this. It is perfect for the one-way because the timing is better now compared to before. For a B tower, same camera as usual, up here in the corner. You don't need any more earlier vision. For B site, this one can be difficult. So this is my default camera. I'm gonna switch that to this one here. And this is the camera I would otherwise use if my normal camera would be shot out. Or this one underneath as well. That's a good alternative. Those get the info right when you need it. For sunset, A site, this is perfect. Then you can have one in market here. I don't really do a mid camera because you don't really need to look into mid. For market, you can also switch up with this one. And then lastly, B site, the usual camera. Hope you like this. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you later. Take care.